Well, let's wait until after one of our runners on stream takes care of it. Looks like 3 of our runners are starting to take care of it over in Link's house, while Fear Agent takes the Sanctuary route. With this being open mode, you don't have to worry about the escape sequence. You just go right off however you so choose.
Now, I'm actually surprised we have 3 of the runners going into Hyrule Castle. Normally, you would start in Sanctuary, or at least I would. Try to head over toward the Lumberjack Cave, much like what Fear Agent is doing right now, and then head into Kakariko.
Yeah, Fear Agent's route is my typical one, but it is paying off for those going into Hyrule Castle. They're finding the lamp off of the uncle. That's the very early fire source, means we won't be seeing those runners doing dark rooms.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it feels like a lot of a risk, though. I mean, you know, there's 200 and some odd drops, and the uncle having something useful is a touch-and-go kind of proposition. You know, run the roulette wheel and see what happens.
That is true, but it is a first circle item check that they can do. It is available from the start, no matter what. Same is true with Sahasrah's Closet, which Hitsuyan just checked. There was the ice rock.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a Houlihan attempt by Fear Agent.
Yep, all you have to do is get your camera a little bit desynced from where Link is. Game gets confused, and you get some money.
I believe 255 rupees is your reward for confusing the camera. Looks like Edium had continued into Hyrule Castle. Not sure if he took a intentional death here. Since
it looked unintentional. It looked a little too early in the path, but I think he's carrying on regardless.
Yeah, Edium choosing to continue from where he left off. Unfortunately, that'll eat up a little bit of time with that death.
And Hitsuyan finding a bottle in the thieves' hideout. Good place for that. We'll be able to loop in the sick kid check, rather, with the sweep through Kakariko.
Yeah, that bottle's a very good find. I don't know about Fear Agent and trying to get back to that lamp. That might be a bit of a stretch for me. Looks like Fear Agent trying to set up something else, but instead just buying bombs.
Oh, looked like they were taking a peek at the Hylia Lake Island. Just some good old rupees on there, nothing important, but nice information to have early in case, you know, there is something valuable there.
Ooh, we have a Silver Arrow sighting in Blind's Hut here. Ooh, sick kid have playing around with some pointy objects.
Yeah, sick kid shouldn't be having that. It's dangerous.
But Hitsuyan picks up Blind's Hut Silver Arrows. Nifboy picking up our first sword. We have the bug net as well, hiding out in Sahasrah's closet there.
Yeah, it's not exactly an important item, but it can be a nice safety if you have a lot of bottles and need a lot of fairies.
Oh,
and a second sword in the well.
Yeah, second sword, and, well, for Hitsuyan, the first bottle, but the second bottle we know the location of overall.
I think that was Hitsuyan's second bottle. I think they did go to the thieves' hideout earlier. But 2 swords and a lamp might have a Naga seed. A little early to call, but...
I would have figured Hitsuyan to have checked the sick kid already, but I think he's a little further... maybe he just heads over there sooner rather than later, but Well, we'll see.
Yeah, seems like a counterclockwise loop.
Yeah, there we go. There's the Master Sword for Hitsuyan.
And Nif Boy just grabbed one as well, taking the clockwise route through town.
Yeah, Nif Boy about to find silver arrows.
Meanwhile,
there's a question in chat. How did Hitsuyan get the ice rock but not the bug net? This is one I know the answer to. And every once in a while, the tracker will update itself. And if you hit a button right when the tracker updates, it won't register the button press.
Yeah, the trackers we use are pretty robust and pretty solid for this purpose, but not without quirks.
Yeah, it's just one of those odd things. It happens every once in a while, but, you know, it's definitely not the tracker not tracking it. And it looks like Fear Agent is going to take a dive into Hyrule Castle, so we're going to pick up the lamp for Fear Agent.
And there's a moon pearl in the escape basement.
Ooh, that if Fear Agent sees this through, he might be rewarded by that moon pearl.
Like I was saying, we are basically in the position to go climb Aghanim's tower if we so choose, but a hammer or the Titan's mitts will make that unnecessary.
Not so fast. If there's something in Lumberjack Cave that they really need.
Well, I believe, I think it was Etium took a peek. It was just a piece of heart. So if we do Aga, it's for Dark World access.
What? I would definitely climb Aga's tower for a piece of heart. Come on now.
Hitsuyan already up to Tempered Sword. That is a tad early.
Where did he find that third sword?
Looked like the dam.
Oh, interesting. I go and take a peek at a couple runners, and next thing I know, Hitsuyan had a tempered sword, and I had no idea where it came from.
And getting even more bottles. It's an interesting, resource-heavy beginning to the seed, but not very progression-heavy. It's not like when we're finding the hook shot and Cane of Samaria and flippers all one after another.
Well, knowing what we know now, can we get to Tower of Hera yet? I think we need the mirror for that.
We would need the mirror or hammer and hookshot.
Okay, well, we don't have either of them, and so we have no Tower of Hera access. We have no Dark World access. We need the bow for Palace of Darkness and/or Eastern Palace, and we need some combination of the book and/or flute. So it looks like the runners are gonna have to do a little bit more exploring, or do you kind of just faith dive Eastern Palace and hope one of the two items in there is a bow?
It is a pretty tough call at that point. Like you said, Eastern is only 2 items, and one of those can be on the boss, so you can't even access it yet. Yeah, at this point, if I knew what we know across all the runners, because they are still overlapping on each other's checks a little bit, again, I might be tempted to just go for it.
Yeah, Edium finding the moon pearl in the basement. And then he got on out of there.
Nifboy tried to take a death warp, forgot the little matter of the fairy in a bottle. That kind of makes that difficult.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nifboy is gonna lose a little bit more time than I think he was hoping to here. But it looks like Edium's going for that tempered sword as well inside the dam. I know Fear Agent was over by Desert Palace. I don't think he went into Agina's cave, so...
He did, and I believe it was just bombs. It was some kind of junk.
Ah, okay.
This is why I'm saying what we know across all the runners, but so far, no one runner knows that the odds are pretty good. Granted, there are, again, 2 items in Eastern, 2 items up on Death Mountain, if they really want to put it off as long as possible.
Well, there goes the ice cave. That's 50 rupees. Is this the quest to 500 rupees and head up into Zora's domain?
Ooh, that would be almost as brutal as an aggro requirement, with how our runners are looking right now.
I mean, it doesn't look like anybody's even remotely close. Well, Fear Agent is a little over halfway there. But I think he's going to potentially snag the bottle vendor's reward, which I think sets him back 100.
Yeah, Fear Agent is still yet to take care of that. We haven't seen any runner do a fake flipper to check the hobo early. And with the pearl, they would be able to check the waterfall cave as well. Very slim chance because that's only 3 item locations, but if that saves you a Naga Tower trip, that's immense. Now, of course, that is a logical sequence break, but if the runner can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, I would think the runners we have on the restream definitely are capable of fake flippers.
ATM might be going for it. It's pretty much the only reason not to save quit out of the Ice Rod Cave.
We'll see in a couple seconds. It looks like he's moving into position to set up the fake flipper. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, this is a sequence break. The game will not expect you to do it. It is a fairly easy trick, but it is also a little bit dangerous. If ATM takes any hits while swimming, instantly dead.
Well, don't get hit.
That's your solution to everything.
Not really. I mean, most things, get fixed by, if you don't have a bottle, don't get hit. But, no, unfortunately, just 10 arrows. Semi-surprised Edium did not just save and quit.
Well, again, having the Moon Pearl means you can check the waterfall cave over by the Zora area, so might be worth a try as a last-ditch effort. We already know Old Man, just a cash reward for returning him, so one last possibility up on Death Mountain.
Okay, yeah, Edium's gonna check our waterfall cave, so we'll see what we have behind door number 2 and door number 3.
And Nifboy heading over to Sahasrara might dip into Eastern. Waterfall didn't work out.
Oh, about the most productive thing that we're going to see out of the waterfall cave is filling up an empty bottle.
And about the most productive thing we found out of Spectacle Rock is finding out that the purple chest is just a piece of heart.
So no Uber Eats driving today. It looks like Eddie. Ooh. Oh no.
Well, we know Hammer is not the progression right now.
Yeah, that's not what I think he wanted to see on Zora's Ledge.
Actually, I personally am not very good at the water walking, so I never really learned the requirements for it. They're not able to cheat their way onto that ledge currently, right? They need boots?
Let's see. I gotta think now. This is not something that I would even normally consider doing.
Yeah, because I think in order to set up the water walk that lets you get there without flippers, you have to do like a boot trick on the edge of a pit. Like, it's the sort of thing that I personally, being a poor runner at this game, have never figured out.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's. I know it involves the Moon Pearl. It might involve the boots as well. It's kind of like one of those things where when I go to Zora, if I see something on the ledge on the way up, I almost always have either the flippers or just kind of go, all right, I'll come back here later.
Yeah, chat letting us know that by and large you will need the boots to do that, so that's just information. I don't think any of our other runners in this race are going to be able to cheese their way up there.
It would be very interesting to see if one of our restreamed runners could actually pull it off, because I would definitely love to see it.
And we see one of the items in Eastern is just a big 20. And the other is a heart container, so Eastern does not have what we need today.
Oh boy. So let's see. Where could we possibly go at this point, or what could we possibly find? Powder for, or excuse me, the mushroom for Witch's Hut, powder for the bat, or
Well,
a fake powder.
We can't even get to the bat without the hammer yet. But we could find the flippers.
This is. I am confused. I'm trying to make sense of what I have, knowledge-wise right now, and I'm just kind of going, all right, error in Frico.exe, does not know.
Well, this is why I was saying so much earlier. When you get the lamp and 2 swords, and honestly 3 at this point, I just tend to assume that the logic wants me to do Aghanim. Now, the logic could be cruel and rude and just lie to me, but...
Yeah, that is true. It is a randomizer. You never really know. But what else? Again, we have the foresight of knowing what all 4 runners know.
Yep, well, Hitsuyan seems like they are not going to leave Zora unchecked. They have been grinding for rupees here and there.
Well, since we know what's on the ledge, Hitsuyan's is going to be in for a nasty little surprise. But, aside from Zora having something of value, like vanilla flippers, for example, or I shouldn't say vanilla flippers, just flippers.
Yeah, those flippers can be any flavor they so choose.
I mean, I'd prefer raspberry, but, hey.
I haven't gone around eating flippers, so I don't really have a preference.
Well, sometimes you say really silly things and, have to eat your shoes or eat your flippers, go out on a boat and, hey, what happens out on the boat stays out on the boat. But, And it looks like Hitsuyan has ground out his 500 rupees, so it looks like we're going to be headed up. Oh, looks like we're coming back for more. Hitsuyan going a little bit further.
Yeah, maybe stocking up for a potion, I guess. At this point, there's not a lot that our runners need money for until they get to the Dark World. Then we're going to need, the Kiki money, the chest game money, but that's all down the line.
Well, still, I guess it's better to have the money for it than not. So it looks like stopping at 611 gives you enough to Zora and Palace of Darkness?
Yeah, that's one more than exactly what you need. So I guess Hitsuyan is kind of hoping that something in this sequence gets him to Dark World and plops him right at Pod.
Well, it looks like we're gonna see a fake flipper from Hitsuyan, so this could be interesting to see if he's able to access Zora's ledge and pick up the hammer. Irrelevant of what Zora may have, but definitely Hitsuyan's play is going for the hobo, gonna pick up, I believe it was 10 arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Meanwhile, Fear Agent making the requisite play, going up to face Aga.
And this will be interesting to see which one pays out better, with Fear Agent taking on his Algebra 1 test. You got to study for the geometry test later. It's very, very important.
Yep, it's quick maths. Now again, if the Aga Tower route is the way that we're supposed to get to Dark World, that doesn't give us the whole Dark World. We don't have Hookshot, we don't have Hammer, we don't have Flippers, so we really only have the pod area.
Well, we do know where the hammer is. Edium and Hitsuyan are about to, Hitsuyan's about to get the not so fortunate news.
Yep, we know how to get that next step, but until we find those flippers, we don't actually have it. So Hitsuyan and Atium will know how important the flippers are, but is that cape important? We don't know yet.
Not for the immediate and here and now. I don't see a way the cape could be used progression-wise.
Ooh, and if boy gets sniped during a fake flipper, that's an instant death. But yeah, the cape could only possibly give us Bumper Ledge or Spike Cave. Spike Cave is currently available, but Bumper Cave definitely is not.
Well, it looks like Hitsuyan has come to the same conclusion that Fear Agent has, and it's probably off to Aghanim's tower.
Yep, which means we get to do the unofficial first guessing game of how many blue balls is Aga going to give us today?
Ooh, I don't even remember how to play this game. It's been so long. Ooh.
Well, with proper execution, we know it will be less than 15, I believe. In my experience, it's generally around 4 or 5.
Well, it looks like we've got 2 regular shots so far from Aghanim. Oh, there's one. Ooh, 1 out of 3 so far for Fear Agent getting favorable RNG, it feels like.
Yep, which Hitsuyan and Nitium will get as well. The Aghanim patterns are seeded as part of the run itself, so everyone gets the same blue ball count, the same sequence and everything. And that's 3.
Yeah, it looks like 4 regular shots and 3... Well, now it's 4 and 4. Ooh, Fear Agent misses one. Oh, no.
And we saw a piece of heart in Mimic Cave, so that's good to know when our runners get to Turtle Rock.
So Nifboy buys a cape for 500 rupees, and Saban quits out of there. So it looks like... Idiom found his way up to Aghanim 1 while I wasn't looking.
Yeah, looks like Fear Agent got 6 blue ball shots.
One of them...
And gets through the Aga fight.
One of them shouldn't count.
I believe...
He missed a shot.
Yes,
That
I believe you are
should have been
correct.
a regular shot. So I would officially protest the correct answer being 6. I think it's 5, but, you know, hey.
Well, I mean, far be it from me to say anything official.
Oh, very true.
Well, officially, Fear Agent is going off to Catfish.
It's one of those kind of out-of-the-way things where it's like, all right, I'm kind of in the area, may as well do it, get it out of the way, be done with. And then I think Fear Agent should consider flying south for the winter, or at least just walking at this point, and heading into Palace of Darkness.
Absolutely. It's not like there are many more options at that point.
Oof, 300 rupees.
Fear Agent takes the save quit back to his house. Since we don't have the mirror, you can't save quit and pop out in the dark world.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think...
there's our map check.
Ah, there we go. Let's see, pendant in Swamp, pendant in Ice Palace, pendant in Palace of Darkness, the green one.
Looked like it was the blue one in Pod when I saw it. Thieves' Town was a red crystal. I don't remember which one the other one was. Trackers are indicating that it was Tower of Hera.
Well, with all 3 pendants being accounted for in the dark world, we know we have crystals in the light world.
Naturally. And with Swamp Palace being a pendant, it is possible that we don't see the mirror for a long time.
Oh, that could be horribly inconvenient. Oh, here we go. Here's another map check. Oh, you are right. It was the green pendant in Swamp Palace.
Unfortunately, Pod is not going to be bow locked. It would be rather curious if it were. Although I guess if that left side chest had our progression item, it would make a little bit of sense.
Well, there's still a couple ways that this could go south for the runners. One of which is the flippers showing up fairly soon, telling you, okay, now you have to go back to Zora's Ledge, pick up the hammer, and then off you go.
Frico, I love the assumption that this run hasn't already gone south.
Well, it can always go worse. I mean, we could put something on the pedestal. You know, there's many ways for it. It can always get worse. That's just, you know, what I have to hope for at this point.
Well, we do know that Graveyard Ledge is not going to be of particular value. ETM going to set up the potion glitch. Pod being bow locked is more of a technicality for several of our runners.
But I am very interested to see what this seed had in mind, because the cape, I don't believe, was in logic as going to the waterfall cave and Zora.
I believe that would be in logic because they had the glove, so that would have been fine. It just would have been logically super inconvenient. Like that Titan's mitts over on the bow lock side.
Now we go Palace of Darkness to get the Titan's mitts, warp out like Edium is doing, because I believe that is all of the items accounted for now in Palace of Darkness, and Edium wasting a fairy to get out of here.
Yeah, didn't have much choice to. But yeah, that Titan's mitt is a definite sequence break, but is probably the logical progression. If the bow is also in pod, I didn't keep count of items that they found, so I don't know if there is more in the dungeon. I feel like there has to be.
Well, I'm surprised Edium warped then. I guess he wanted to get back, retrace his path, but all of our runners either will be or soon will be, you know, clearing out the entirety of Palace of Darkness. Nifboy, I believe, is going to be headed on over there fairly shortly. I am confused, to say the least, as to how I would even consider progressing through this seed right now. I mean, what could be checked in the Dark World that's kind of just out there? Pyramid Ledge?
Pyramid Ledge, Catfish, and Pod. That's really it. Which is why I am so suspecting that there's another piece of progression somewhere hidden in here. Very well, could be the bow. Or it could be a hookshot.
Yeah, a hookshot. Fear Agent finding hookshot. So that's a piece of the puzzle for certain. And it looks like Edium's about a couple seconds away from finding that hookshot as well.
Yep, same with Hitzion. Or Hitzion just found it, rather. So this gives us access to the rest of Dark World, Death Mountain aside. Although I guess our runners do have access to Dark Death Mountain because they sequence broke.
Well, without the mirror, that's Oh,
It's certainly an
well,
interesting.
they'd have the hook shot, so they could get across, but
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting proposition, but Hitsuyan might go for it, considering they're on the east side already. Fear Agent, meanwhile, is heading to the village of outcasts.
oh, we'll see what ends up paying off here. Chess game for Fear Agent finding a book.
And Hitsuyan headed to the Paradox Cave and finding the flippers. So that puts the hammer in logic.
Well,
And there's our mirror. So yeah, the game definitely wanted you to go up to Paradox Cave after that pod dip to get your next pieces of the puzzle.
Well, it would have been Du Aghanim, potentially Village of Outcasts. Can you even get over there?
I mean, actually, yes. Because of the hook shot, there is a way to get across the river on the north side using that. So it would be a bit obnoxious. You'd have to go past the graveyard, past Dark Sanctuary, but you can get there logically right now.
Well, we've had a sequence break in picking up the hook shot, because that was behind the potion glitch, correct?
The mitts were behind the potion glitch. I believe the hookshot would still be considered in logic based on the key count. I believe that still would be fair game. Because we only had one small key behind the potion glitch, so that really only logically blocks Helmasaur. Key logic in pod is a bit of an interesting beast. So, again, I don't say anything officially.
Well, the speculation doesn't hurt, I don't think, but I'm really trying to wrap my head around what exactly is in logic, what the runners could have found without any kind of sequence breaking, as opposed to what they shouldn't have, through the way the seed wanted them to progress through the game.
I think so far, the only thing that's truly out of logic is the Titans mitts themselves. All the access that our runners are taking so far is still logical. It would be a lot more tedious without the mitts, but still logical.
Okay. Because Fear Agent hasn't gone up into Zora's, so not having the hammer or the cape has not stopped him at all.
And the Cane of Samaria is in Mire, so French vanilla. And it's good to know that that's there. Saves you from having to do a dip of Mire without the cane and hoping.
Well, it looks like Hookshot Cave, just a blue armor upgrade. Otherwise, fairly uneventful. It looks like Fear Agent's going to have a go at trying to finish Thieves Town.
Yeah, and Hitsuyan saved and quit out before going over to Tower of Hera, which I believe would have been accessible, given the mirror.
Yeah, Hitsuyan does have the mirror. Hopefully that'll actually update on the tracker. There we go.
Yeah, but looks like the actual move is going over to Zora and getting that hammer.
Well, Hitsuyan might be catfish. I don't believe he's checked that yet. I believe it was only Fear Agent that's done so.
Well, if not, then that'll get routed in pretty easily. Yeah, that's looking like a catfish check as well.
So we'll see a mirror right after that, and Hitsuyan will pick up the hammer as well.
Now, I haven't been item counting on Fear Agent's screen, but not having the hammer means that big chest is left abandoned. And unless the map and compass were not found and not on blind, that could linger in the back of your head a little bit.
Well, we'll know for sure once we see what blind ends up having for a drop. If it ends up being the burrito, as I so call it, or a compass, then you start to wonder. But with it being bombs, I think it's likely we can deduce that either the compass or the map.
Yeah, again, I wasn't item counting for Thieves Town, so I'm not positive, but that does make it more likely that there's nothing of interest in there. And ATM is going to give us our Tower of Hera check.
Well, this will certainly be interesting. It looks like Fear Agent is going to do a little bit of digging here. Hitsuyan finding their way into Hype Cave.
Not very hype yet. 40 rupees? Okay, it's hype now. 110 rupees and the D.
Yeah, a bow is a very good thing to have.
It also put that Titan's Mitts back in logic. So Hitsuyan now, anything that they do is within sequence. And Fear Agent, I don't know if they saw the chest hint to know that that was not valuable. ATM did just see that Pyramid Fairy, although currently in logic, is also not valuable.
Looks like I've got a little bit of technical difficulties, so unfortunately I won't be able to...
No worries. I will try and keep everyone aware of what is going on. Nifboy finally making the visit to King Zora. Going to end up grabbing the hammer right after this cape. As ATM takes on Moldorm and gets rid of Moldorm.
Well, refresh enough times and eventually it'll come back up. There we go. Looks like Nifboy picking up the hammer. Edium picking up our first crystal at about 44 minutes in. Or excuse me, no, Fear Agent picking up Thieves Town earlier.
Yeah, but that is the first crystal for ATM. And those two are the only ones with anything so far. Chad asking where Mirror was. Mirror was in Paradox Cave.
So now we get to do a little bit of a fetch quest on Fear Agent's side, delivering the blacksmith, not having been able to take the quick route. 50 rupees. We know. I don't know if Fear Agent knows that the Uber Eats delivery route is not very rewarding in this run today.
Well, either way, it's not a check that you prioritize very highly, unless you have the information that it is valuable. Most runners just kind of let it languish.
Well, to be honest, it's not all that bad, but for the amount of time it takes, you kind of hope it has something. I mean, you're either desperate for information or you know that the purple lunchbox is going to give you a pretty good tip for delivering it.
Yep, it is one that if you are able to route it well, then it's pretty seamless and pretty quick. But there are other ways to take care of that route that generally pay off better. Giving Jeremiah the world tour, it's usually my preference on that.
Oh, now we see Edium going back for the hammer. Fear Agent looks like they're in Eastern Palace. Hitsuyan, nope, debated me. Looked like he was going toward Thieves Town, but he's going to pick up a book in the chest game instead.
Yep, Nif Boy forced to give the bouncy Gibdo a visit. There's no small keys on the regular route, so have to go and get that guaranteed one.
And there we go, Hitsuyan diving into Thieves Town.
Now, I must say, with this being normal difficulty and the silver arrows being found so early, we're probably going to see a lot of bow usage, because that is a pretty potent weapon.
Yeah, especially on the bosses. Fear Agent's basically going to trivialize the Armos Knights here. So long as he makes sure to hold on to 6 of those arrows. He has 22, so shouldn't be a problem. Pretty big target, you hopefully won't miss.
Looks like Nif Boy got a little bounced around trying to do the bomb jump over to the Skullwood's big chest. Just going to do it the intended way. That's basically all you can get out of Skullwood so far. There's one other chest available, and then after that you need the fire rod.
Well, that's going to be crystal number 2 for Fear Agent. Unfortunately, the Armos Knights just holding a burrito back for the drop. But now things are going to open up a lot here for our runners. You could see Tower of Hera from Fear Agent at this point.
That is probably what's going to happen. Fear Agent probably going to take care of the entire eastern Death Mountain, and then probably head to Hera to cap that off. And let's see, the book does put Desert into play, if our runners so choose. No boots means you might not be able to finish it, we don't know yet, but you can certainly access it.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a risk, but Fear Agent picking up the flippers, so that might put the hammer into play for Fear Agent. There's the mirror.
And just a tunic on the bumper ledge, so our runners may or may not bother with it. suppose Nifboy is going to. But Hitsuyan, Etium, anyone who approaches that with the blue tunic already may just skip it.
I was going to say exactly that. If, the upgrade from green to blue, I think is significant enough that you can maybe go a little out of your way to pick it up. But if I see that red safety vest hiding pretty much anywhere where I need to put some kind of effort into it, nah, no thanks.
Yeah, and honestly, Link looks better in blue anyway.
Well, it looks like Skull Woods is not on the menu as we don't have the fire rod yet. And it also makes Turtle Rock not completable.
Yeah, you can't even necessarily get very far in there, depending on where keys are located in the first few chests. So those will be necessary dips eventually, but it makes sense to hold off on those for the time being.
Well, it looks like Nifboy is headed over to Hype Cave. Hitsuyan's taking on Blind. Fear Agent is doing Death Mountain. And now we're going to hopefully get some insight into what Edium's doing. It looks like Village of Outcasts. Going to be...
Yeah, this is a classic moment where there's a lot of runners just overlapping each other's routes.
I think Edium picking up the book from the chess game and now going to head into Thieves Town.
Chat asking where Bombos was that ATM had? Good question. I didn't actually notice that.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it, but...
Oh, it was in Skullwood. So that was one potential piece of value, depending on what Meyer requires.
Well, it looks like Turtle Rock is Ether. Going by what we see on Hitsuyan and Nifboy's tracker medallion.
Yep, I believe they, one of them used the Turtle Rock portal when they were doing the Death Mountain checks. I believe Hitsuyan used the lower one.
Well, with Edium being in Tower of Hera, although it happened while I had a technical issue, that's about the only place that I have not seen. So it looks like if we find the Bombos on Nifboy's side going through Tower of Hera...
Yeah, keeping track of 4 different runners simultaneously when they're diverging like this. Oh, there's Bombos.
Found it.
It's a little easy to get lost. If only our runners would take consistent routes. I'll do the same thing.
You know, these are a lot easier when there's only 2 runners, but it looks like Ether Tablet on Fear Agent's side, just a couple bombs, so we know that that's a negatory for Ether Tablet, but Fear Agent's going to head into Tower of Hera, so we know Bombos is going to get picked up.
Yeah, Bombos also does open up Ice Palace, which our runners are going to hope they don't have to go into, but it is open at this point.
Yeah, I think I would prefer the Fire Rod, to go into Ice Palace, but beggars can't be choosers, as the saying goes.
Indeed, and for all we know, Fire Rod could be in Ice Palace, and you're forced to deal with Bombos.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, on that front, as we always try to think about how the game control you, like Nifboy just getting mega bounced off that Moldorm.
I was about to say that was a very interesting interaction there, with Nifboy jumping down and then immediately getting catapulted almost out of there.
But yeah, we still have enough items that it could end up having something valuable on the pedestal. Not a lot of opportunities, but there are still some.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
That's all we need. We only need to, just that little bit of hope to cling and hold on to. And Hitsuyan gonna get the unfortunate news of 3 bombs at the Ether Tablet. And it looks like Hitsuyan's gonna follow Fear Agent into Tower of Hera.
And Nifboy's giving us a look at the Spike Cave. It's a single rupee for your efforts.
Ooh.
Blind almost getting away from Etium, got a little off script, but not enough to wreck the fight. And that'll make 2 crystals for them. Fear Agent is at 3. Hitsuyan working on number 2.
So I think I'm with Bullet Catcher here, the Fire Rod on pedestal.
That would be a thing that happens for sure. Fire Rod, Flute, Ether or Quake if necessary, Boots if necessary, or the Mushroom for Fetch Quest.
Well,
or the Powder for Fetch Quest.
We already know Ether is necessary for Turtle Rock. Otherwise, we're not getting in there.
Indeed. We don't know about Mire, though, so Quake could be required for Mire, or it could be useless. We don't know yet. But yeah, we still have all 3 Fetch Quest items, and a number of progression items left to be found.
So yeah, it looks like chat's running a little wild with their guesses on what out of the way, awful locations a lot of the remaining items could be. And I like it all.
And of course, the logic never intentionally trolls the runners, but it also has no real concept of trolling. Every location is the same as far as the seed is concerned.
Yeah, that is true. It just kind of goes, okay, we need to put this here to make sure you can, progress through the convoluted list that's placed before you. It looks like Fear Agent heading off to Zora. So that'll be the cape, and then it looks like he'll head around to the ledge to pick up his hammer. So a little bit of a pit stop here for Fear Agent.
Yeah, but it also goes to show how much was possible before getting the hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Fear Agent. I guess Palace of Darkness not all that high priority right now. He was in the area, but looks like maybe Swamp Palace gonna be the target for Fear Agent.
Yeah, Swamp does have a fair number of items, and then the green pendant does get you Sahasrara if you really need it.
Well, we have all of the items, I believe, to go through. We have the flippers, we have the hook shot.
And we have the hammer, yeah. Fear Agent might actually be doing a tablet check into Desert. Quite possibly.
Yeah, that actually makes sense as well. Well, we'll see what's on the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, and if Desert is not boots locked, then that's another crystal you can get out of the way.
I think this is a little risky, but oh well. I believe that's where the flute is, Desert Ledge. Oh,
That does look like a musical instrument indeed. Also didn't realize that we didn't have anyone check that yet.
yeah, this is the first time we've had anybody further than Agina's cave.
So we'll see very quickly if this can be finished.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
it can be
big-
finished. Might still logically require the boots, but you can get through it.
Well, that's a compass, so something sharp is in the big palace, or I'm
Big
not even
chest
going
is-
to bother. I'm just at this.
Well, the point is, we know where the golden sword is. Will our runners bother to grab it? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how easily they get the swamp big key. Considering that is one of the two big keys that isn't actually required. If they have to go left side swamp to find it, they're not going to bother.
Ooh, Eddie, I'm checking Agina, so that's not going to work out real well. Ooh, that's a medallion for Fear Agent. So that's
Indeed, that
Turtle
is
Rock
Ether.
items.
And that's an item on the Landmos. So, okay, that gets one item off the pedestal checklist, but still plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, fire rod for pedestal. Please, thank you, and have a nice day.
Yeah, that actually is the only guaranteed progression item that we haven't found yet. We may still have a boots required seed, but at this point there's only one place where that would be a thing, and that's the torch in Ganon's tower. Or I guess like an item in Bog Rocks, whatever, but
I didn't even think of Bonk Rocks having something hidden behind them, but with how difficult it is for the boots to show up, I'm not going to put much faith in that, because what do we really have? A Witch's Fetch quest item with powder mushroom? We know Misery Meyer, I believe, has the red cane.
yep. Yeah, we don't know what medallion we need for Meyer, though. So Quake is maybe necessary, maybe not. Same category as boots and the fetch quest items at this point. There's a lot of ambiguity right now.
Well, once we have our first check of Misery Mire, which I think Fear Agent might try to do after finishing Desert Palace here.
Yeah, that would make sense. You can release the duck, come on down to Meyer. You know you'll be able to finish it because you know the cane is there. It's a reasonable path. You got a 2/3 chance of having the medallion already.
Yeah, there's no way to really check before you have the Mallard get empowered here, right? Yeah, Fear Agent already saving quitting. Going to the Sanctuary. Yeah, and it looks like, if you don't mind, I'm going to stand up. I am going to salute as we prepare for the playing of the Hylian National Anthem.
And I think to make it all the better, I think we do have Fear Agent's audio going right now, so... And we're off.
Now the big question will be off to where exactly is Fear Agent has a couple options here. Yeah. Looks like gonna have a Misery Mire check.
You can't quite set up the fire rod glitch that a lot of runners like to do because we don't have a fire rod. But we do have Ether as the Misery Mire medallion, so we can dip on in.
Yeah, it looked like Fear Agent checked the medallion, but I did not see it. It looks like showing up on the tracker, it's Ether again.
It indeed is.
That's going to be Misery Mire off the list of things to do.
And yeah, at this point, all that we know we need is the fire rod.
All right, chat, chant it with me now. Pedestal, pedestal, pedestal.
Well, I mean, at least we're not being so cruel as to hope for, a mushroom that leads to fire rod on pedestal. We're just, being a little more direct.
Well, I just want the pedestal to, get its love. We've got the Aga required seed. So why not go the whole way here and throw the pedestal in for good measure? It looks like Edium is getting the foul out on the prowl.
I will mention and I will remind our viewers that no, this is not an all dungeon seed, so we are not going to have to do all of the dungeons unless there is something on pedestal. And if there is something on pedestal, well, okay, it was an all dungeon seed.
Yeah, we just disguised it as open mode. As in open everything to finally get that fire rod.
Fear Agent gonna do the fire-locked side of Meyer. We did see a hint earlier that there's not anything of value over here, if I recall correctly.
Well, so far we've found a burrito on Fear Agent's side, so looks like just trying to get up onto the top side here. Now, what's interesting is we've got 3 of our runners, Hitsuyan, Edium, and Fear Agent, all very close to each other right now, with Nifboy not too far behind.
Yeah, Fear Agent only really has the advantage in that they've already done Eastern. There is a vanilla cane. How about that?
Well, we knew the cane was hiding in there, but seeing it in its vanilla location almost begs the question, is this even randomized?
The world may never know.
Looks like Fear Agent pulling off into pit road there to take a full magic refill.
And chat asking about Mimic Cave. We have seen a hint for it. It's just cash, if I remember correctly. But it was going to be useless one way or another.
And there we go with Nifboy finding Ether. So that will give him access to Misery Mire and Rock.
Did Nifboy run away without checking Desert Ledge?
I believe so. There's no flute.
Well, that's it.
No.
We'll know for sure on the next menu check. But that would be quite the slip up if you end up doing that. Oh no, there's a flute.
No, he
Never
does
mind.
have it. Okay. I was a little concerned there. I'm going, uh-oh, that might be a problem. Sort of surprised, no checkerboard cave. Or cave 45 being checked either. Vitreous here looks like Fear Agent will make very short work of this.
Yep, just getting one unnecessary small key. Out of, I believe there are 2 Misery Mire small keys that you don't end up needing. Just because of the way this dungeon is designed. It's a little weird.
Well, Nifboy's just drained the dam, so...
Making the place straight to swamp. I mean, if Fire Rod is in here, or boots, or anything of value, then hey.
Well, we know the green pendant is in here. But that's a stretch. I mean,
And we know Gold Sword is here too. Does
Yeah, but
Nifboy know? I don't know.
I'm not really gonna go out of my way for, the gold sword.
Oh, you're gonna go out of your way for the
boo,
Fire Rod.
Yes. Boo! Boo! Boo!
So yes, this becomes quite interesting. Nifboy never broke sequence to get the Titan's bits, but is the only one to go into Swamp to get the Fire Rod.
I do not approve of this Swamp Palace at all.
What, did you want that on the left side?
Oh, that just ruined my night. I'm done. Can somebody replace me as commentator, please? I'm gonna go and cry now. I had my hopes destroyed by that fire rod showing up.
Well, with where it is, there's still plenty of time for that to crush the spirits of several other runners. So there's that.
So yeah, press F to pay respects to the last few words that I'm gonna end up saying before I just, bury my head underneath my pillow and cry myself to sleep tonight.
Well, regardless of Frico's mental state, the show must go on. And
Yes.
Nifboy is going to go on to the left side.
Wow.
Fear Agent taking care of the Skullwoods dips that we can do without the rod. Gonna end up with the blue cane and nothing else.
Oh, now I have to hope for a 4% chance of Ganon's Tower Big Key being on the torch. I guess there is. Yeah, Sindoris pointing out that the dream is still alive.
But is Hitsuyan about to kill it? It's the magic powder. Well,
that just got interesting because that quest item.
If boots are required and on Magic Bat, then logically the pedestal is required.
In logically, that I trust.
And yes, if the mushroom is on Bat and boots are at the witch's hut, then we can't get around that. Because otherwise, if we found the mushroom, then we can fake powder and skip that.
Well, we don't want to go and find the mushroom now. So that would be a great place for the mushroom to be, is in the Bonk Rocks. Although that would, I guess, mean the boots would have to show up before.
Yeah, if mushroom, no matter what, there are still ways for the sea to be ridiculous.
I think it's done a pretty good job of it already. But,
I would say though right now we're at silly. We could get to ridiculous, possibly even absurd.
Okay. I mean, I just want to have my cake and eat it too. I mean, we've had an August. The only way to really, wash that down is with, a little helping of ped seed as well. Looks like Edium might be headed into Swamp Palace now as well.
Yeah, if you know that you don't have a lot of other options, you go for that. Fear Agent going to take the Ice Palace route that Hitsuyan has already been on, which has not paid off yet, but they are still early in the dungeon. Ice Palace is very much backloaded.
Is this prospecting on the green pendant, hopefully finding them the fire rod?
Honestly, that would be my train of thought. Going for Swamp rather than Ice Palace. Also, I'm not a fan of Ice Palace. It's a rather slow dungeon. And Swamp has enough potential value, plus the green pendant. I would be like, yeah, I'll go for it.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what possible logic Hitsuyan and Fear Agent are trying to follow to, justify the Ice Palace play. I mean, as the commentators, we have the knowledge that Fire Rod is in, Swamp Palace, and I believe Edium was in Swamp and bailed out.
I think once Edium found the fire rod, they, wanted nothing more to do with that place.
Not a bad idea. I mean, the only way you would have to go back there is for the pendant, which, I'm kind of hoping for, but, I think Nifboy got out of there. But he finished the dungeon, so...
Yeah, if Sahasrahla has required boots, then Nifboy made a pretty solid play. But otherwise, yeah, Idiom is torch aside in go mode.
Yeah, so this is a light go mode, I guess we could call it. The 21 of 22 chance inside of Ganon's tower of the big key being on location number 3. But that puts Turtle Rock into play. So that would be a crystal they can access.
Mm-hmm.
Skull Woods is now completable, and I believe that's exactly where Nifboy is headed. I believe Edium is going for Eastern Palace, which should not take very long at all.
Nope. Right now, Idiom has that advantage, certainly over Fear Agent, despite the crystal counts, just because Fear Agent is doing Ice Palace, and there's no reason to do Ice Palace, apparently.
Boots, maybe? I mean, it's about as risky of a play as you can get it at this point, I think.
Again, Hitsuyan, Fear Agent, they did not know that Swamp had the Fire Rod, so Ice Palace could have had it.
Oh. It's a hard play to justify, but Fear Agent might be under the assumption that the green pendant is holding an item back. But Hitsuyan, I think, is on the right track here.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, who knows? This is one of those moments in a rando seed where you're really just kinda lost and taking whatever gambles you can.
Oh no, Fear Agent got out of there. And I'm confusing the green and blue pendant, unfortunately. Looks like Fear Agent is headed into Swamp now as well.
And Hitsuyan has some opinions on Swamp, as demonstrated by all those angry slashes. Nifboy had some opinions on Mothula, with some angry slashes in Mothula's face.
Looks like Hitsuyan is gonna join our other runners. Nifboy already finishing off Mothula. Edium on their way over there, as is Hitsuyan at this point. So Nifboy might have pulled a little worst to first action here. He's got Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, and Eastern Palace left. Misery Mire is going to be a little bit of a... there's our Cave 45 check, a Bloomerang.
Yep, nothing all that interesting in there. Nifboy going to do a pod dip. Again, Nifboy did not get the Titan's mitts, so this is a necessary maneuver.
Yeah, but Nifboy's actually doing it inside of logic at this point, though. Whereas, I guess everybody else, at least our restreamed runners, all using a sequence break to get there.
Yep. This actually, routing-wise, makes a lot of sense. Doing Swamp first, getting the green pendant, bringing it to Sahasrahla, then going and doing Pod, and then mirroring and doing Eastern. This is actually a pretty smart chain of events for Nifboy.
Looks like he's having a little trouble trying to get that warp just right, Nifboy is, as Hitsuyan is having a go at Mothula. Edium not too pleased about being at the witch's hut for whatever reason. But it
Just stocking up on potions.
Looks like Turtle Rock is the only dungeon left for Edium to finish off here.
Yep. And that's a pretty smart one to leave for last, if you're able to. Gets you to Ganon's Tower pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Hitsuyan still has Eastern Palace to do, so he'll have to use the flute over to location 5.
As demonstrated here. Fair Agent also stocking up. Our runners have a pretty good amount of health. No half magic to make it go better, but, you know, having 1 or 2 potions would probably be enough for most of these folks. Of course, if you have the cash, you might as well throw down.
Yeah, better to have it and not need it than want it and not have it, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Fear Agent finally making that swamp dip. Going to get the fire rod. Going to be good to go as far as we know. And Turtle Rock, one of those dungeons that you can't really go mode that much compared to a normal full clear. Contrast with, say, Swamp, where a full clear takes a decent amount more time.
Well, you can skip over Laser Bridge, Mimic Cave.
That's true.
I mean, that's really about it for Turtle Rock. You really don't have much of a choice otherwise in your option for trying to get through there.
And of course, that all depends on where keys are located. You may end up having to sweep through laser bridge just to find the last small key you need.
Yeah, that is true. The keys can kind of cause a problem. But Nif Boy is in the Armos Night, so he has Misery Mire and Turtle Rock left to do. Misery Mire, with what he has, I believe is in go-moded mode here.
Yeah, that will be just hunting down the cane, and that's it.
Fear Agent looks to be headed off to Mothula at this point. Hitsuyan looks like Turtle Rock making the climb up Death Mountain.
Its team got a little jostled about before stealing the key. Since they already have the big key, they found that earlier, there's no real reason to hit the lava chest at this point. Now, I don't remember which runners have seen the hint for Mimic Cave. I suspect Etienne was one of them, though.
I believe he was the first runner to find that particular hint.
Of course, we don't necessarily need anything, but, you know, if you knew the boots were in there, you might stop for them. Oh, Fear Agent getting a little bullied by Mothula, hanging out on the spikes.
Yeah, not the best place for Mothula to hang out. Definitely having to hit Mothula a couple more times than was necessary. That'll be Skull Woods off the... Now, Fear Agent still has to have a go at... Oh, no. Fear Agent has not gone into Swamp Palace yet.
Fear Agent has. That's how they're able to do... That's how they're able to do Mothula.
Ah, right. Minor little details as I look at the tracker that's missing the fire rod and going, wait a sec. Getting a little ahead of myself there, but oh well.
Yeah, again, between the tracker software not always cooperating and just having to keep track of multiple runners with divergent routes at the same time, it's perfectly easy to miss one or two things here and there. But as long as our runners have it, that's all they really care about.
Yeah, that is very true. So we're going to have Edium at the checkpoint of Trinex here, being the first to Turtle Rock and collect all of our crits, assuming this fight goes okay. And I can't see how it would go bad for Edium at this point.
Especially with all those potions to make sure it goes well. But yeah, with that, I think it's worth having a little guessing game as to where that big key is going to be. There are 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower basement. 21 of them. Oh, no, all 22. I keep forgetting if I count the big chest in that. But one of them, somewhere, has the big key. Now, we know Frico's guess is 3, in the hope and prayer that it'll be on the torch.
Not so fast there. You know, my heart is telling me it's 3, but I have committed what feels like about a year ago at this point to the number 5. At one point, sometime before the year 2025, it might actually come in and be chest number 5.
Well, you know what? I am going to go with number 8.
So it's one of those, where my heart is telling me 3, but, my brain is telling me stick with 5 no matter what, because it'll never come in, and I will be forced to guess 5 until the end of time.
Well, with Idiom entering Ganon's tower, we see number 1, big 20. Number 2, big 50.
So far, so good. We're good. Here's our date with Destiny right about now.
Drum roll. Small key.
It was a key, but not the right one, unfortunately. So that would put Edium and everyone else in go mode. The boots not required for this seed.
We'll see what 4, 5, 6 being. Number 4, piece of heart. Number 5, small key.
Another case of right item, wrong type.
And there's the boots.
Number 7 being our boots. Interesting.
So despite our best efforts, it wasn't a bootless seed.
Well, it may as well have been, though. Very little chance to put them to any use here.
Piece of heart for number 8.
Well, looks like Eddie not setting the orbs correctly to get through the room.
Yeah, it could easily be just a little flustered.
Well, might be going, all right, gotta go fast, gotta be first, just kind of overthinking it a little bit.
Yep, we saw number 9 was the map. See what Rando Room gives us.
Number 10. Number 11. 12. 13. Quake. So while we've been watching Edium go through, it looks like Hitsuyan has just unlocked Ganon's tower and going to be having a go at the descent into the base. Fear Agent in
not that far behind.
Picking up, I guess, a key they needed to get through Turtle Rock. Compass for Edium, I believe that was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And a quick little pit stop to take our Ice Armos Knights on.
Yep, again, Silver Arrows makes pretty much any boss relatively easy. Try next notwithstanding. Oh, and it's on the right side. that big old key.
Ooh. So Eddie, I'm picking up the 2 keys required for the right side.
Yeah, we didn't... Oh, we're seeing Hitsuyan go right side, though. Guess they stole the left side key?
Well, picking up that torch key could lead to another key, so,
Oh, yeah.
Hitsuyan doesn't know that the other key is basically buried at the end of the Ice Armos fight, so Hitsuyan at least will be able to check these 4 chests, and there it is.
And there it is. So we don't know what number that's going to be, because we're still going to run off of Idiom's count, but probably 16 or 17.
Yeah, and there we go. I believe 16 is the correct answer for today.
Actually, I'm second guessing myself because they pretty much full cleared the basement at that point. So that number should be much higher.
It was 14 before they dropped down into Ice Armos.
So yeah, that would be 20.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then 21 and the tile room 22. So 20 would be our winner. So let's see if we have any 20s. No, it looks like we have a 21. And
we had a 19. Yeah, so nobody got it exact, but we did have a couple one-offs, so good show to both of you.
Yeah, I guess it won't hurt to have 2 winners today. And your prize, redeemable at ALTTPR.com, a full year's supply of Link to the Past randomizer seeds.
Yeah, we have Hitsuyan and Idiom up in the gauntlet, very close to each other at this point. While Fear Agent has taken over to the right side and will end up with the big key in short order.
Yeah, it's actually surprising that Hitsuyan ended up getting ever so slightly in the lead just from routing things a little better than Edium has, and Fear Agent will make up a lot of time as well, although something's going to have to happen for Fear Agent, I think, to at least out of our restreamed runners finish first.
Yeah, there's still a few opportunities throughout the gauntlet for things to go south for any given runner, but those options are quickly dwindling. Of course, there's always the good old Ganonug.
Yeah, that's true. I think with where we're at, it's really going to come down to a Trolldorm 2 fall.
Yeah, we saw plenty of Trolldorm 1 falls.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Hitsuyan just out of magic.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, there's a big pot right here, but still, little bit of loss. I actually don't think I've seen that bonk strat. Getting through that room like that. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but I don't think I've seen people do it.
Oh, there's our mushroom. I'm actually surprised Edium is opening chests still. I'm not entirely sure what he might be looking for at this point.
It's a good question. Although I guess half magic would refill your magic for you. Don't really need it. There's a refill right here. But yeah, that's, I don't know. I would be done at that point.
Well, it looks like Hitsuyan's through what is basically the last major hurdle. And Edium maybe about 10 seconds behind at this point. Hitsuyan into the geometry fight at 146.05.
Only knocking out singles, though. ADM about 15 seconds behind.
Yeah, but that looks like a double, so might be able to make up a lot of that time. There's, I believe Edium has 3 hits in, as Hitsuyan has finished his geometry test. Edium now has 4 hits. 5.
And that's an Aga fight down.
That was about the freest triple ever, but I think only one of those hits were really needed.
Yeah, with Tempered Sword, this Ganon fight should be no sweat for our runners. Don't even have to worry about doing it silverless.
Now, this should be a fairly uneventful fight. Something really out of whack is going to need to happen here for, either Hitsuyan or Edium to really blow it, as it were. Oh, Fear Agent, just about right on the edge of getting knocked off in the Moldorm 2 fight, as Nifboy, our restreamed, final restreamed runner to head into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I mean, what almost happened to Fear Agent could very well happen to Hitsuyan or Edium, and that would really slow their showdown. Hitsuyan misses the torch glitch. Gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Now, that could come into play for Hitsuyan. I don't know if he has any poke. He'll have this last usage of the lamp. If he lands a couple hits here, that'll do it.
Edium is gonna be right... Ooh, that was a nice shot. Gonna be right on Hitsuyan's tail.
Yeah, just a couple seconds apart. Looks like Hitsuyan finished 9th place overall with a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, 53 seconds.
Yep, and Edium right behind with a 1:49.07. So that is 14 seconds difference.
Yeah, let's get those GGs in the chat for both Hitsuyan and Edium. While I have a quick second, I am going to start to read off our previous finishers. Goomba90 finished in first place, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 20 seconds. Lin, our second place finisher, 1 hour, 42 minutes, 1 second. Matt 7898, third place, 1 hour, 42 minutes, 31 seconds. Weighty Words, our fourth place finisher, 1 hour, 44 minutes, flat. Shire, fifth place, 1 hour, 44 minutes, 6 seconds. Salty Fry, sixth place, 1 hour, 44 minutes, 30 seconds. BBB Kermit, seventh place, 1 hour, 44 minutes, 59 seconds. And the final finisher that we have currently, Cassidy Moen, eighth place, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 24 seconds. Oh no, Fear Agent. That is not how you do the Ganon.
All right, we're gonna see if we can get Idiom and or Hitsuyan in for a little bit of post-run interview.
Well, it looks like somebody invaded in. I think Edium is here to join us.
Oh, hey. So, yeah, someone just pulled me in. GG.
Yeah, GG indeed.
That was a close finish.
That was very close. 14 seconds difference. We're seeing a lot of close times on this race. So we had the point where everyone was going either swamp or ice. You were one of those that went to swamp first, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I never touched ice.
Mm-hmm. Was there any thought of going to ice, or was that just completely not on your mind?
Definitely, when I found Bombos and Hera, I was definitely thinking ice might be something, but there's just so many more items in swamp, especially with it being the green pendant, that it just seems like a better play, but I mean, it could easily have been in ice as well.
Yep, and we have Fear Agent just finishing up with a time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, 33 seconds, placing them in 12th place. Malagord took 11th with a 151.39. We'll see if Fear Agent wants to join us as well. So early on, we also had the whole Aga thing. How long until you just decided that was going to have to happen?
Yeah, I think all I had left was Zora and Agina, and neither of those seemed like great options. And with so many swords, I think I got 3 swords pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's that the logic bug has been fixed, so the swords actually matter for Aghanim. So I figured I might as well go there. I probably could have even gone earlier. I don't know who was the first to go, but...
Yeah, I actually don't remember which one of the 4 on the restream was the first to end up there, but you all ended up there in pretty quick sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... I'm glad I did that bottle glitch in pod. I actually forgot I even... I should have got a potion beforehand, and I kind of forgot about it. So lucky I had one. But yeah, that got me that Titansmith. And yeah, that hook shot was in the dark maze, I think, and I thought that would be bow locked because there was a key on the bow lock side, but somehow the bow was in Hype Cave. I was totally expecting it to be in Agina, so that kind of confused me.
We were honestly expecting the bow to be in the dark maze, and then the Titansmiths to be the logical progression, and not the hook shot. And then, Titansmiths logically were a little further off. But everyone except Nifboy on the stream wound up doing that same potion glitch. So we got to see those Titans miss pretty early.
Yeah, that hint about Samaria and Meyer was very nice.
Oh yes, that is a massive weight off your shoulders when you know you can dip into mire and get exactly what you need. And we do have Fear Agent in here with us as well. Fear Agent, GG.
Hey, GG.
GG Fear.
So you, Fear Agent, you were one of them that went to Ice Palace before going into Swamp. Kind of curious what your train of thought was on that direction.
I don't know. I just thought, where is the least likely place for Fire Rod to be? And probably Ice Palace. We got Bombos, of course. That was just a giant troll. And we got the 3 hints there as well. So, I don't know. I mean, it's like, which one do you do?
Yeah, this was the seed was willing to be a little trolly here and there for sure, especially with the Aga play that you had to make.
Yeah, I tried some stuff early and tried some like just a little bit of different routing just to mix it up and see if I could beat the seed a little bit. And then I last location the mitts, and then last location the moon pearl. And I think all I had left in logic was Zora, and so that put me a little bit behind. Who did everyone potion glitch and get the mitts early?
Everyone except Nifboy, as far as our restream runners go.
Yeah, that was nice getting those mitts early. I wish I went to the mountain before I did Thieves Town. Obviously, I wish I would did ice or swamp over ice. I think those are. I mean, I full cleared the overworld, so I didn't have a lot left. I was worried because I skipped Mire. I skipped the one item in Mire, and I skipped the Thieves Town chest. So I was worried about those. And I just did not want to go into Swamp Palace. And so it ended up being like, I think the last thing I had besides those 2 items.
I'd rather go into Swamp than Ice. Yeah, I full cleared the overworld too, except pretty much the Ether Tablet, I think, was the only thing I didn't do.
Did everyone go left in GT? I'm figuring I caught up to people because of Dark Magician strats.
Yeah, I basically last location the big key except for Tower.
And how about that awesome death right there in phase 4? That was sloppy.
How did you manage that? I was reading off the names of who had finished, and then I heard a blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh no.
So,
somebody died.
So what I was trying to do is I was trying to get a triple, and so I went below Ganon. I knew it was kind of risky because I only had 1 tile to work with. But if I go below him and then shoot him up, I could possibly get a triple. And instead of getting a triple, I hugged him and died. So everything went great.
Up until you hugged Ganon.
Yeah. So I lost a spot, actually. I went from, I think I finished 11th overall. I could have gotten 10th if I didn't hug Ganon, but he was just looking cuddly there, so
I believe you finished in 12th. Malagord finished about a minute ahead of you. Edium and Hitsuyan, I think, had finished before you had started the Ganon fight.
Yeah, that's right. I was off by 1. So I could have finished 11th. I should have finished in front of Malagord if I didn't hug Ganon, but that is what it is.
Yeah. And just to give a quick standings update as Nifboy goes off to the Ganon fight, we had Frostbite 3030 in 13th place, 1 hour, 52 minutes, 55 seconds. Yukikaze in 14th, 153.27. Magnificent 15th in 153.38, and Old Man Sunshine with 155.05 coming in 16th place. I believe we had 23, 24 runners total on this.
And Goomba must have just god routed it because he killed it by a lot.
Yeah, he was the only sub 140.
You didn't give out a spoiler log, did you, or something like that? Beginning of the race to a couple of the runners?
If I was, it wouldn't be to Goomba.
Hey.
I mean, honestly, I thought that was a pretty fun seed. I played pretty sloppily, but I thought it was a fun seed. And Goomba knows I'm just messing with him too. He's too good. He doesn't need it.
I need to relearn my pod logic because I could have sworn that hook shot was bow locked.
No, we were having that discussion about the keys during that time everyone was spending in there. And I guess because it was one small key, that was meant for Helmasaur.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess because the hammer was locked behind the flippers, which were locked behind the hook shot, maybe that makes it so that you can't burn that last key. Which is really weird, and I didn't think the logic accounted for that, but apparently it does.
Yeah, pod key logic has always been a curious beast.
So if you got okay, so the first chest was a key, the second chest was I think the shield, and then the third chest was a key. So if you burn that key, let's say on the bombable door, that would have given you a key.
Yeah.
And then if you go past the bridge, you would have got another key to get into the dark maze. So
Yeah, I think the point is you got 5 keys without the bow, and you can't burn any keys on the boss door because the hammer is locked behind the bow, or behind the hook shot rather.
Yeah, we do have Nifboy finishing up the Ganon fight, coming 17th with a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 54 seconds.
GG.
did you guys all see what was on the pedestal?
No.
It was the powder.
Oh, that's always fun.
After I did ice, I was like, man, what if it's on pedestal? I mean, it could logically be on pedestal, and I don't want to go in. I really don't want to go into swamp. I know you don't like ice, EDM, but I don't like swamp. Swamp just feels slow, especially with no boots. I think that's the thing about the seed I like the least is walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boots in GT is always painful.
Yeah, we were definitely kind of holding out hope for a pedestal seed for a while, up until Fire Rod was found. And then once we found out that powder was on pedestal, it's like, well, maybe boots could do it, but no. We were all spared from that bit.
Now, Goomba's actually in the chat saying that he went into Swamp on his way over to Desert Palace.
That doesn't surprise me. I was considering it, but there's with the green pendant, it's basically 7 items, so I can see doing that play. It's just it's kind of a difficult decision to make, especially when you got crystals to clear.
That's why Goomba's number 1.
But at the same time, I only had to do the first chest in Swamp because Fire Rod was go.
Yeah, I believe Fire Rod was go for a couple of the runners on the restream.
I think it was everybody. I don't recall there being an item anybody picked up after the fire rod that mattered. I guess for Nifboy, he had to go back and pick up the Titansmiths, so out of Palace of Darkness, I believe.
Well, I'm going to take off. Thanks for the restream, and thanks for comms, the trackers, and GG's to EDM, Hitsian, and Nifboy. That was a lot of fun. And of course, Goomba, the greatest ALTTPR runner, rando runner there.
GG Fear.
Yeah,
You're
GG.
laying it on thick. Ooh.
I love Goomba. Goomba's the best. I like messing with him a lot. Goomba jams so many races. He's so good. And everyone else, GG's. That was a lot of fun. So thanks again. See you guys.
All right, have a good night,
Right.
Fear.
And just to...
sorry,
go ahead.
I was just going to say I'll step out as well. Thanks to you guys for commentating, and thanks to the trackers and all the rest of the Speed Gaming crew.
Yeah, our
thank you for the run.
unsung heroes tonight, Sindoris and Frankling as our tracker. And I believe you wanted to give us one last little update on who had finished.
Yep, we have had Ridley Dragon taking 18th with 2 hours, 3 minutes, 49 seconds, and Signums with 19th at 2:04:41.
Well, it looks like Nifboy may or may not be joining us. We'll give it a couple minutes there. Give him his chance to get grilled by the commentators. But other than that, I think if we get the one way or the other, if Nifboy is going to join us, there's not much else going on right now. Let me take a quick peek at the schedule to see what we have going on elsewhere tonight.
Yeah, I believe this is the last race that we have on Speed Gaming 2 for the evening.
I believe, well, I'm going to take a quick peek into tomorrow morning. We have overflow of a Super Metroid and Link to the Past combo randomizer. That's on Speed Gaming 4. We have Super Mario Brothers 3 rando. Believe that is a tournament race. DLP 316 versus MIDI Guy DP. That should be starting up at midnight Eastern time, which is I thought there was a Zelda 2 randomizer race going on, but it doesn't seem to be on the schedule. Instead, it looks like we have ESA Marathon, Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth, and followed up with Castle Crashers. For those of you that want to stay up a little later and catch everything that's going on, I believe the ESA Marathon is showing Brutal Legend at present.
Yeah, and the ESA Marathon is going on for at least a few more days. So you'll be able to give that a peek here and there across the Speed Gaming channels.
And it looks like we're just trying to get the invite out to Nithboy.
There it goes. Nifboy, GG.
GG.
Sorry for the little delay there. So yeah, we were already talking in chat a little bit about the swamp run and all of that loveliness.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was that double dip into pod that really killed me.
Yeah, though that was logically required. And honestly, I've never been good enough at the potion skip, so I would have been right there with you. But you were the first to go into swamp and get the fire rod.
Yeah, I figured that was what was holding everybody else up because it was a very open lead up.
Well, once everyone got funneled through Aghanim.
And I got to do all those cave shenanigans, buying the cave. Because I needed that cash for Zora or for Kiki after Aga was like, I need this money. And then it's like, oh, I'm just going by Zora for the hammer, so let's get that cave just in case.
Yeah, I don't believe we ended up needing that, because that was just an armor upgrade. And I don't think there was anywhere else that we needed cape. It was still nice to have, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, again, it was an interesting seed, and you put on a good show regardless.
Thank you. I'm a little out of practice, so it was good to get one on stream for posterities.
And we do have 2 more runners putting in their finish times. Amarith with a 2:08:35, and Sandra's 3:16 with a 2:12:32.
All right, I think on that note, we're going to unfortunately have to call it a night here for our daily race. No more shenanigans to be had. So on behalf of Hupfin, I am Frico, and it was a blast doing our Link to the Past daily race 9 p.m. edition. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.